It's not uncommon to see large-scale themed metal sculptures in many major exhibitions or exhibitions in Tainan, be it orchid flowers, black-faced spoonbills, or other cute animals. They're all very popular. But guess what? Most of these sculptures came from a tourism factory in Yongkang. Even though this is an industrial park, it's still accessible by bus. Look, that's a cool-looking bus stop. Let's follow the camera and see what the tourism factory is all about. Hey, David here, and I'm actually in front of the metal fabrication plant. But how's that a fun place to visit? It's a factory, right? But it's not just any ordinary factory. In fact, it's a tourism factory. Now, what is that? What's a tourism factory, you may ask? It's a factory that actually invites and is open to the public. So you can come here and experience the art of metal fabrication firsthand. So let's go and check it out. Hey, we're at a metal fabrication plant, and this is the owner of that factory, the boss, Mr. Guo. 郭老板，可不可以介绍一下你们的工厂？
我们的观光工厂呢，是这个以金属文创为主的一个亲子同游的好工厂。
As we walk into the factory, we are greeted by several massive metal sculptures. There are also many more sculptures on the nearby lawn. You know what? This actually looks very familiar. I think I saw it at the Orchid Expo a couple years ago.
这一件呢是去年台南展的这样的一个兰花的创作品。
Orchid flowers aside, there are tons of adorable animals.
这是一个金属打造的一个环保的一个题材的动物园。
Huh? Is it just me, or do some of these animals look awfully familiar? That's right. We've seen these adorable cows at the Yuanpi Reservoir, and they're made using old oil drums. You know, many of the sculptures in this factory's garden look awfully familiar, and you're not wrong, because this factory is actually responsible for a lot of the sculptures you see out in the city.
David, 可以来参观一下我们工厂的生产制程。
Stepping inside the factory, the very first thing we see is the laser processing area, where robots weld metal together with laser. It really is incredible. This place feels like the engineering section of a futuristic starship, but you're not dreaming. They've got actual robotic laser welders. And these machines, they actually make the job a lot easier. In one corner of the factory, we see a young man practicing his welding skills. Later this year, he will represent Taiwan in a welding competition in Abu Dhabi.
这个制程呢是用雷射光来做切割。
These works of art are actually produced with a laser cutting machine, and the machine is capable of cutting really thick pieces of metal like this, or even thin pieces like this, and create these very intricate designs. This massive machine is a laser cutter, and it's fully computerized. Sheets of metal are fed into the machine and cut according to a design specification. The cool machine behind me is a laser cutter, and its main job is to cut these sheets of metal into workable shapes and sizes. After laser cutting comes the bending and forming stage.
这里是折床成型区，折好的东西呢就会大概像这样子。
This giant machine behind me is for bending sheet metal. So once the sheet metal came out of the laser cutting machine, they are bent and formed into various shapes.
David, 这里是那个公共艺术品雕塑的创作区。
We're at the creative workshop of the tourism factory. Here, workers are busy pumping out beautiful metal sculptures such as this orchid flower. They also produce a lot of large-scale public art installations such as large animal or even robot sculptures. We have a very clear division of labor here. The factory floor is laid out according to various manufacturing processes. So each manufacturing step becomes very clear to visitors. This is a tourism factory, but it's still a metal processing plant. Even though the factory floor is very safe and neatly organized, running or horseplay are not allowed here. Also, please do not touch anything without permission from the guide. Safety first. Besides learning about metal forming processes, you can also walk through their cultural and creative exhibition hall. They even have guided tours here.
这个是我们的传统钣金加工的一个工具啦。
After listening to the guided tour, we walk away with a better understanding of early metalworking processes, as well as the tools that were used along the way. some of these tools can no longer be found, and relative to modern-day machineries, these traditional tools are filled with so much more history and nostalgia.
David， 我们来体验一下 DIY。那你挑战一个的困难，就是这个是音乐盒。
Whoa, this looks hard. These are stainless steel cutouts, not paper. In practice, it really isn't that difficult. All you need are your own hands and a screwdriver to complete this project. It's really great fun. Look at that, that wasn't so bad. It's my little L-shaped music box, and I'm gonna open the little door. Not bad, eh? A plethora of cultural creative products here have been showcased in exhibitions and have been awarded numerous times. They're very creative and innovative indeed. Many of the cultural creative products here can also be customized into unique memorabilia. Man, that was a lot of fun. I learned a lot today. Before today I knew nothing about metal fabrication. And my favorite part of the day was the DIY workshop where I made a little music box and the laser cutting machine and a laser welding machine. Man, those were really cool. So next time you're in Yongkang, you know where to visit.